Hello, a very good morning to you. I'd like to welcome you to Table Talk on Benue Television. Today's edition of the program is going to be a very interesting one as we are set to talk about Nigeria today, issues that need to be addressed in Nigeria. What have we left unattended to? What needs to be tackled in our country and what needs to be fixed? These are the issues we intend to take a look at today. Well, the end bad governance protests is in the pipeline. In some states, there are claims that protests have been shelved off, while a majority of the states are still insisting that protests must hold. Well, whether it's going to be a peaceful one or it's going to go out of the law is what we intend to also investigate. The fear in the country Nigeria is most of the times that people tend to take laws into their hands. And this will be very and highly unconstitutional. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria upholds public order, peace, and of course unity. Nigeria must remain united even amidst protests. Apart from protests, we also have issues of unstable economy, biting economic effect, which I rather prefer to address as a peppery economy. These and more are some of the issues we intend to investigate on the program today. And once again, I have a man of God and of course a public affairs analyst who has got the gamut of knowledge to share with us. Is also a PR consultant and would speak to Nigerians and the Benue people concerning the plight of the people living in the country. Let's go this way. My name is Japhet Kwahom. I'd like to welcome Dr. David Mtswene, who is a public affairs analyst and would be speaking to us on this important topic. I'd like to welcome you to the studios of Benue Television once again.
Thank you very much, and good morning, my dear viewers.
Well, Dr. David Mtswene, you, from the look of your, facial expression, one could hardly deduce if you are for or against, the proposed, protest that is about to take place in Nigeria. But let's not begin with protest. Let's talk about the economy. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has promised Nigerians several times, even before he was able to hit 100 days in office, one year in office, that he was on his way to fixing the economy. I do not know. How can you appraise the fixing of the economy so far? Have you seen any difference? Can you tell us that the President is being sincere with what he's doing? Can you tell us there are footprints of what the President is trying to do in terms of fixation of economic woes?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's
You're
a
welcome.
privilege to be here.
Once again, you're welcome.
I don't really want to join the wagon of being a adapting Thomas. I don't want to be pessimistic about what is going on, but we need to face reality. There are issues that even the deaf and the dumb will tell you that Nigeria is actually needing a very serious attention. Just as I rightly said, the President and the Commander-in-Chief, Ahmed Tinubu, did promise Nigeria before during the campaign that he will come and repair the economy and return it to the global stage as one of the best in the world. And we all believe him, that because of his antecedents and track record of excellence, how he laid a solid foundation for what Lagos is today. So some Nigerians were excited that he's coming on board. We're quicken the process towards economic recovery. As how far he has achieved that in 1 year is what is on the table today.
Yes.
Because why policy statements are being made and dished out and pronounced, why the media handlers are persistently telling us about the packages that are made available and those that are they yet to be unveiled, and the palliatives that have been released, the economic measures to cushion the effects, and all that has not addressed the plight of a common Nigerian. In other words, why they keep on making efforts to fix the economy, the tangible impact of those fixations are not yet seen on the table. There may be some gains here and there. No matter how the system is going, some people will have the privilege of benefiting from the system. And so some of the palliatives and some of the measures and the packages that are released, of course, they are reaching some Nigerians, but the majority of Nigerians, as we speak, from statistics and judging from the faces of the people in the marketplace, at the queues, university environment, public transport, obviously you can deduce from the faces of Nigerians that the economic policies have not impacted them positively. So this is where we are.
All right. Now, I'd like to ask you, is the problem with the president or the economic handlers of our country, or the problem lies with the central bank, which is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that our economy goes the right way, or the problem rests with the citizens? Where exactly is our problem stemming from?
Squarely, the problem, we cannot take it to the backyard, we take it to the head of the family, the head of the nation, which is the president, because he's the one in charge. So if there are failures, we attribute it to him. If there are successes, because nobody voted a central bank governor to be the president of Nigeria, nor the media advisors or the economic or minister of planning or whatever you have. Nigerians gave him a mandate to turn around. So I don't want to shift blame from the table of the presidency to anybody, because if anybody is not functioning well and is making the economy to be dysfunctional, the president should have the guts to fire the person, because he needs to have a cabinet, a team that will work out the magic one. So if we don't take it to the president, we may be looking for blames in the wrong quarters. So to me, I want to say that it's the president that will fix the economy. It's the president that will give the minister of justice, minister of economy or finance the marching order. It's the president that will tell the central bank governor that this your monetary policy is not working. What you're promising is not working. You are not stabilizing the dollars. Things are going on. So what is the rate at which are you putting out? If you cannot deliver in maybe 2 or 3 months, I will replace somebody. If these marching orders are given, I think it will go a long way to cushioning the effect. So to me, it's the president that is at the center, the front burner of what we are passing through today. So if we eat well today, it's our president. If we don't eat, it's our president. Because when he came on day one, he said fuel subsidy is gone. That was the beginning of the skyrocketing of prices, the hyperinflation, or whatever. All types of inflation have occurred just because of this one statement that fuel subsidy is gone. So when you take something away, you should have something that will cushion the effect of it. So in a nutshell, it is not the central bank that said fuel subsidy is gone. So it is Mr. President. So fuel subsidy is gone. It is for the interest of Nigeria. What we said was there are some cabal that were benefiting. Now that the fuel subsidy is gone, who is benefiting from the money that is now not investing in the subsidy? What is going to happen, or what is happening with the money that is coming so heavily in the federation account? Who is even accounting for? So to me, it is Mr. President that is Mr. Economy, and if the political will is there, I think we wouldn't have been where we are today. But of course, every leader will tell you that we are doing our best. But what we have experienced, personally, I think the best is not good enough. They have to jack up their game.
It's all right. They have to jack up their game. Let's also look at the other aspect. A lot happens around the presidency. The presidency, as we speak, we have up to 48 ministers in Nigeria.
Yes.
This is about the presidency that has the largest cabinet since the history of inception of democracy in Nigeria. Some other persons are arguing that Mr. President is carrying too much than he can handle, and that is why the economy of Nigeria is being weighed down for too long. That he should have trimmed down the number of his appointees that are taking home too much money, and then there should be a review to ensure that the Senate, the House of Representatives are not taking too much money home, and there should be, and what is called I do not know how to put it precisely, but our legislation should be made in such a way that the number of appearances on the floor are trimmed down, so that the cost is also, what's your take about some of those allusions?
Well, we are looking for solutions from all directions and all corners. So I think every useful suggestion should be considered very seriously. But I think, from my own point of view, the Constitution is a grand norm that has to be rejigged or to be amended. Because when you talk about a large cabinet, from the beginning, our Constitution has made adequate provision for that each state should be represented at the Federal Executive Council. That gives you a constitutional number of 36. So the president has nothing to do than to make sure that ministers are up to 36. Maybe addition of maybe 10 or 18 that you're talking about. But the addition there is now up to 20 from what you have alluded to. So it's a constitutional matter. So if Nigerians are saying that the ministers are too much, it means that the Constitution has to be amended so that it will give anybody that is the president the legal backing to make sure that this thing is streamlined. I also know that some people are talking about scrapping the Senate, just allowing the House of Representatives there. Others are talking about delegated legislation here and there. All these issues are constitutional matters. If the Constitution of Nigeria, as of 99 as amended, is not rejigged or amended again, there is nothing anybody can do. It will continue to be agitations, continue to be permutations, and here we are practicing a constitutional democracy, and there are direct tenets and procedures that are there contrary thereof. So if they are not amended, anything that they are saying, no more professor of law can make a proposal that will supersede the Constitution of Nigeria. So Nigerians are making agitation. It is now the responsibility of both National Assembly, the Green and the Red Chamber, to respond as responsible representative and have the goals to commence an immediate and proactive amendment to Nigerian Constitution to reflect the current reality. And then the state assemblies too should be prepared so that once it gets down to them, they too will get a requirement of the state assembly, so that we will not keep on talking about things that are not constitutional, things that will not be implementable, things that are if the president dares to go there, they say he's living a lawless life and creating anarchy. So the president's hands may be tied in some other places. So the Constitution has to be reviewed.
So some apart from the review of the Constitution, some other Nigerians are advocating for a unicameral, legislation at the federal level. Why do we have to place one side the green chambers and the red chambers when the both chambers are doing the same thing? These two, many scholars are arguing that it would have cut down on the costs that will go down to the downtrodden or the masses. I don't know what's your thought about that.
Just to repeat it, reecho what I'm saying. It's not the issue of agitation, whether bicameral or unicameral. It's the issue of what is the Constitution that we have today. Of all the advocacy and agitations and clamor, until the Constitution is amended to reflect the current reality of what Nigerians want. Because the Constitution is not supposed to be rigid. The Constitution is a flexible document, and there are exigencies that would demand that the Constitution was practiced in 1960 ought not to be practiced now. So nobody should be advocating without telling the National Assembly, you guys have to do the needful, so that we'll have a document to reflect the reality. And then again, you will discover that from my own observation, I think Nigerian federation system has been tailored towards that of American system. So they too have a bicameral legislature.
Yes.
So because of that structure that Nigerians are practicing, whereas there it is working for them, but for us the systems are dysfunctional. If not, looking at it, the beauty of it, it is to give room for each local government to be represented at the House of Representatives, at the Senate. It also gives equal distribution of representative, so that some ethnic nationalities cannot be isolated, so that when you go to every constituency, federal constituency, you will discover that either an Igede man is there, a Doma man is there, a T man is there, Fulani man is there. They bring you to that type of unit. So looking at it at that principle level is good enough, because it's so that all the voices, whether the majority or minority voices, will be heard on the floor. But the abuse in the system has been the issue that we need to be addressed. But I think whatever document that Nigerians need to have so that the workable constitution is squarely the primary responsibility of the legislature, as will be ignited by the National Assembly and then be endorsed by the State House of Assemblies.
That's all right. Now, let's also consider this part of it, Dr. Nswenem. We also, you've not talked about the efforts done by Mr. President, because I would want you to point out, because as much as you have been able to say this is where the economy is failing, this is where the presidency is failing, this is where the team of the cabinet of Mr. President is failing to do the needful. Ordinarily, one would expect that. Are there things that the president has done that seem as insignificant? Just let's talk about them.
Personally, I don't have the facts and statistics of what I can say categorically that this is what Mr. President has done that I'll give him a pat on the back. I like to speak with substance, because I am not a spokesman of Mr. President, and I don't have those some of his achievements in maybe in a chronological order. I'm not going to be authoritative.
But this is your president.
Yes, it's my president.
So as much as you know the problems around Mr. President, you should know if there are efforts the president is making as well.
So let me my assertion here will be based on hearsay.
Okay.
Yes, I will be based on hearsay. I've heard people saying from that Mr. President has provided a lot of financial backup to states. I also heard that Mr. President at a particular point gave palliative in billions to state governors, which was supposed in the beginning of that administration to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. So buying of cars, providing of foodstuff, and subsidizing some commodities. I've heard that. I've also heard that Mr. President is currently providing tractors, providing fertilizers, and some sprayers. Because from what we are hearing, I'm not a beneficiary, I've not witnessed, but online we have discovered that some state assembly members are sharing fertilizers, sharing sprayers and rice, which people are confidently telling us, ministers and assembly members, some senators are telling us that it's Mr. President that is providing such to cushion the effect. And I have heard a time without number, our governor, His Excellency, Reverend Father Dr. Malia, telling us that whatever thing that is doing here in Benue State is because of the support of Mr. President. He has said that a time without number. So I think from based on that hearsay, Mr. President is trying in one way or the other. But all that is trying, what I'm saying is that it's not good enough, because the majority are still suffering.
So as Oliver Twist,
yes,
from the Oliver Twist position,
yes,
what are you asking for from the presidency? It may seem as the president is lost, doesn't really know exactly what to do at the moment. Take it that you have an opportunity to sit with Mr. President to advise him. What would you tell him to do?
Well, just like you say, Oliver Twist, Mr. President will do more, and he should be visible, and he should be direct. He should try that his economic team, whatever committee, whatever panel, or whatever thing that he set up, whatever policy or whatever stimulus that he intends to to release to Nigerians, he should try to make it in such a way that activities of middlemen that are hijacking some of the policies and diverting it to their families and cronies is stopped. Because I really know that if the president can decide to say that I have a committee on the ground, take 1 tray of rice to a particular, all the universities in Nigeria, for instance, take it directly, and there are people, DSS and security agencies to monitor so that there will not be stampede. Take the 1 tray of rice, even though it may just be like a drop in an ocean, but to all the universities, public and private universities in Nigeria. If that is done, this will bypass the governors, bypass the political class. It will go straight to the university campuses, and some university students there will benefit drastically. It will not be the issue that they brought it, maybe it's hanging in one store or it's hanging in one politician, that it has to go to only party members. For crying loud, it's not only party members that voted to a particular governor or president. So we are all Nigerians, and we have the right to the Commonwealth. A situation whereby some of those parties are hanging some ministers and assembly members, that too will preclude other people from accessing those houses. Well, once they call a political figure, some other political party will say that it's not my political party. Even if they want to go there, they'll be excluded because they know that they don't belong there. So, but the issue of economic negative impact is affecting all Nigerians, political parties notwithstanding. So, Mr. President has to reach out directly. It may not be as if Mr. President must go door to door, house to house. But if he has given a marching order and there is a follow-up, it can be done. And then I think one of the things that Mr. President has done that is for the best interest of this country is the Supreme Court ruling on the autonomy of local government council, 774 local governments. What I would advise is that Mr. President should not make this judgment to just die on the ship. The judgment should be implemented to the letter. That judgment, the president must ensure, stand his ground, that these monies are sent directly as the Supreme Court has ruled, and that there should be monitoring. ICPC and EFCC should hold this council, local government council, accountable. If maybe 1 or 10 of them are jailed because of diversion or looting, or because they have been victimized to carry the money to whatever political corridor, it will serve as deterrent to other local government chairmen not to divert the fund. By that, governance at the grassroots will be resurrected. By that, infrastructure will begin to be at that level. By that, leadership in terms of local government councillors, supervisors, administration, local government will come back alive. Because the third tier of government is the closest to the people. Because the center and the state is far away from the people. Okay. But this one, the local government, is directly from every hamlet and every village. And the people, majority of Nigerians are dwelling in rural areas. That's okay. So the mortality of the local government administration has also contributed negatively to affecting the economy and the well-being of Nigeria. So, Mr. President, if you can hear our advice, this Supreme Court judgment, take it as if it's the only one agenda that you have to do for this our nation, so that the local government money that has been disappearing in 10 years can be invested for the good of the people of Nigeria.
That's a great one. Now let's talk about criticisms. Do you think Mr. President is such a president that would, after this we'll go on a break anyway, do you think Mr. President has opened himself up for criticisms? Because even in the UK, in the United States of America, and in others, well-balanced, democracies, we still have people criticizing policies and administrations. Now, this question is coming from the criticism that was done recently by the senator representing Borno North Senatorial District, talking about Senator Ali Ndume. He's an old-time senator. He has been at the Red Chamber since 2003 and has breast of what Nigeria is all about. He said recently on the national television that Mr. President is not aware of the present realities in the country. According to him, he said Mr. President is embroiled in the cubicle of kakistocrats and kleptocrats. That is, cut away from the masses, doesn't feel what is happening, and the people around him are not explaining to him the situation in the larger, country. I do not know if you would want to take the same position with Senator Lee Ndume, or you would want to, say that he was too hard on Mr. President.
Well, the senator has been always at the center of the National Assembly. He has also have his own side of the controversies and debates here and there. He has been fighting in that National Assembly from the House of Representatives Senate for quite a long time. So anything that is coming from him, some people will not take him very seriously, judging from what he has been saying before. It is not his first time that he will have an outpost against a president, a sitting president. So sometimes people don't consider the message, they consider the messenger. So the message that he passed was sound, but people looking at the messenger has not been credible enough to bring.
So in this case, is it the messenger that was supposed to consider
the
message itself?
No, the message. That is what I'm saying. People
Yes.
ought to have considered the message that he brought at this time. But they were looking at the messenger. They didn't expect him to bring the message. But I beg to disagree that Mr. President will not be aware of the sufferings of Nigerians, or to the fact that Mr. President is such a way that it has been put under quarantine to a point that even the happenings around, I beg to agree, because on every day the president is receiving Nigerians on courtesy call, is giving audience to some ethnic nationalities and political groups and some societies, international organizations, and they are sharing their views, telling Mr. President what is happening and presenting their yearnings and aspirations. So the president is not shut, it's not closed down, because activities are going on. People are interacting with Mr. President. Mr. President is also sitting at the Federal Executive Council, where the ministers are represented across all the states in the federation, and they are also bringing memo to him and telling him about what to be done and what not to be done. And I also know that Mr. President is also being briefed on a daily basis from the security chiefs as in current suffering occasioned by the first custody, and even some security challenges and some issues that are likely to bring down the nation. So there is no way anybody can say that the president is in such a way that is so exclusive that he will be unaware of the suffering. But come to think about cabal, always there is always an inner cycle, or what we call kitchen cabinet. So once some people don't belong to that inner cycle or kitchen cabinet, they will turn that kitchen cabinet as being cabal. So if that senator happens not to belong to the kitchen cabinet of the president by virtue of the fact that he's a senator now, and he is tagging those people that I may call the domestic staff of Mr. President, which knows when he sleeps and wakes up, as not giving room to him to understand. I don't think it's only about that.
Must every administration in Nigeria have a kitchen cabinet?
I think all over the world there must be a kitchen cabinet. Why so? Because these are people that are you have confidence in them, because not everybody will be available all the time.
So why would you have confidence in the other persons? Why you had lack of confidence in the other person? Why did you appoint them?
Why we say it's not because the other people are less important, but what is important is that at every point, even your family, at the family level, sometimes you have people that you say is ESCO within a family. Even at the general meeting, you still have a ESCO, just like the National Assembly. The National Assembly too, they have a cabal. The principal officer is the cabal of the National Assembly, don't you know? So, but they are senators.
So from what you're saying, this cabal trickles down to the church.
Definitely, even in a church, I can't deny you. When you have a pastoral council, you have the ministers, you have those people that have meeting with the general overseer, those that have the laity council, those that have this. These things are always there.
Okay.
Even though in every society that you go, even in the family, I know you are a family. There are some meeting that you are a kaba, you and your wife. The children will not be included. So
exactly.
Kaba is a negative kaba.
Kabas exist
mentality. They
everywhere. But of course, when we talk about kabas, it should be kabas that will bring about development and
of course, yes.
Well, I think we're due for a break at this point. Let's go on a break very quickly. We'll be right back to continue with the program. It's Table Talk on Benue Television, and we're looking at Nigeria today. The issues to address is what we're looking at today. Let's go on a break. Welcome back to the program. This is Table Talk on Benue Television. We are very happy to be here once again to talk to you concerning what's happening in Nigeria, the nation today, Nigeria today, and we're looking at the issues that we need to address as a nation, as citizens, as a people living together. Dr. David Mtswenen is doing justice to what has brought us here, but there are still more questions left unanswered. Now, Doctor, let's also talk about the youth. You know, we are anticipating that there is likely to be a protest, and that protest is tagged "End Bad Governance Protest." The presidency is, on the other hand, accusing some persons he tagged as saboteurs of good governance, that they want to sabotage his administration. While some Nigerians are of the opinion that this protest is coming truly from aggrieved Nigerians. Now, there is a blame game in this whole process. What's your view about the impending protest in Nigeria? Do you think it's anchored on, is politically motivated, or it is coming from the hearts of the people who are truly aggrieved?
Thank you very much for that question.
You're welcome.
I want to ask you this question before I go ahead. You are a journalist and you have been here for some time.
Yes.
Do you know the organizers of this End Bad Governance?
That is why you are here as a guest.
Maybe
and all the questions are to be answered by you.
I was thinking a journalist should know better.
Yes.
But from what I've been reading on social media, if I can say, I would really say that this group of people, I don't know who is their leader. Sometimes they talk a bit as if it's youth, sometimes as if it started by a group of northern element and all that. So to me, I really cannot be authoritative because in every struggle, in every protest, whether it's Nigeria Level Congress or NUJ or Teachers Union or ASU, we know that the leaders will be at the forefront to mobilize some other followers to go for the strike or protest. But in this very one, just like some of us have been hearing, It's like because maybe rightly some people feel that the suffering is overwhelming, which is true, that the pain and agony the nation is passing through, that the country is breathing. So they have decided behind the scene to try again whether it will work or not. But that is not to say that the suffering, the state of the nation is okay. No, it is not okay. But from the language, the political language that has been falling, it's like this protest is an indirect way of opposition fighting the ruling party from the language, the body language. Because those that are in ruling party are maintaining that Mr. President is just 1 year in office and it's not time for Nigerians to rise up and bring him down for what has been done against this nation for the past 40 or thereabout years. And the people that are in support of this, which some people were saying they were part of the system, were some people that were political leaders at one time or other, that also for the past 20 years that put Nigeria in the current mess that we are. They are the same people now that are saying that end bad governance, where they themselves we are the architect and grandfathers of bad governance. So that is why many people are saying that they are incompetent as far as talking about good governance and leadership in Nigeria is concerned. So it goes back to what I was telling you, the message and the messenger. So I really think that the people that are speaking in support of this protest, some people are genuine, but some lack the local standing. I don't go to court, but they lack the local standing to address Nigeria on this issue of protest.
Yes.
Because when they were the same people that vehemently opposed protests when they were either president or vice president or they were governor in some other states or thereabout. We have their record, we have their history. Why are they now coming to it? But apart from those people that are incompetent to speak about that, then brings us the issue of the constitutional matter, which is protest is a constitutional matter, it's a legal matter, and that Nigerians have the right to protest. In other words, whether they are faceless group or they are masquerade or they are whatever name they call them, but if they want to protest and they want to protest peaceful, whether they are masquerade or faceless, let them come out and protest peacefully so that we know what they have. So protest is the constitutional matter. So the principal person behind the protest is the issue that is maybe causing concern to the ruling party. I'm not speaking for them, but they may be thinking that because maybe they defeated the opposition at the polls last year, the opposition want to bring them down through the other back way door. That is why they are struggling and fighting to defend it. But on the whole, protest is a constitutional matter and should be done peacefully. But the fear has always been that recent event. Let us be honest, Mr. Jaffet.
Yes. For
us in Africa, I think the spirit behind protest is more destructive. That is why people are afraid of every protest in African continent, on African continent. When you go to other UK, Great Britain, and US and other places, protests are held very peacefully. When you say a protest is a protest, they allow it. Government will listen to the genuine cries of the people, will gather the views as expressed. The general position will be submitted, communique will be issued. They will be done in a decorum and polite and civilized manner, and government will respect the rights of citizens to go out peacefully, and they will secure them to do the needful, and at the point government will respond appropriately as submitted. But back here in Africa, events have shown clearly that no matter how you put the correlation of peaceful protest, when the peaceful protest will actually commence, from records and history, certain miscreants and hoodlums will always take advantage and then hijack this peaceful protest and turn it to become violent and destructive. Recently in Kenya, look at what happened in Kenya. It was termed as youthful protest. Look at the level of destruction of the public infrastructure that was done in that country, and killings that were done. You cannot.
So are you afraid of protest?
You really cannot have that to be a replica in no country, because even the available amenities that are on ground are being destroyed for at the expense of who?
So are you afraid of protest in Nigeria?
For me, as a servant of God, let me state my position, not the position of the law.
Yes.
Yes. For me, I will never advocate protest from the biblical point of view.
So what
do you know why?
No.
When Moses took the people from the land of bondage and was going to the promised land, those people that protested and murmured against God and Moses, their leader, all of them, God said, you end in wilderness. In other words, you when you take your battle to God in prayers and you take it there, for us, that I'm taking from a spiritual point of view, not the constitutional point of view, you will discover that it's God that will have the power to even speak to the leaders.
Yes.
That Moses was leading them there, but they were protesting against Moses, were murmuring and even complaining that Moses was allowing them to die, and they wanted to even go back to the bondage land of Egypt. So now God has never given us the power to be protesting. If we have our petitions, we have our grievances, we will have our issues, we should take it to Him so that you can solve. So even bad leadership, there is nothing that is bad that God cannot change. But I'm not preaching.
But yeah, I understand. Yes. Because this wouldn't be a place to preach. By the way, but let's look at this. It's a very critical point that you need to highlight. Let's hear you harp on this one. You have spoken as a servant of God.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the Constitution, no faith is given room. The Constitution brings us together as one people. The recognition of people of a servant of God and servant of all of that is not, noted in the Constitution. Let's talk about, although the Constitution acknowledges the freedom of religion and worship, let's talk about governance now. Dr. Nswenen, do you think dialogue is enough to address the problems in Nigeria? Because dialogue we have tried. Remember the National Confab in 2014. Beautiful document, abandoned. Remember the Orosanyen report that government said it is going to put to use, implementation. How much of it has been implemented? So there are so many beautiful documents that Nigeria can go to and take us out of the woods, and Nigeria has refused to do that. So if you are saying you are not an advocate of protests, what are you an advocate of?
Well, I am an advocate of common reasoning, patriotism, nationalism, and dialogue. And
so when common reasoning fails,
mediation.
What?
You see, we have been here at least. I know that you are more than 4 decades now old.
Yes.
So you cannot tell us adequately the protests in our country that has provided the solution that we needed. Yeah. Let us be very honest. At the end of the protest, what happened next?
Yes.
Dialogue has to come. So the issue here is, yes, it's our constitutional right to protest, and I've also said let Nigerians protest. Even right now, some of us, we are protesting in our private houses, and we are even protesting at the filling station. I also go to the market. I also protest against the sellers. And they also protest against the wholesalers and the manufacturers. So in one way or the other, we are expressing our protest in one way or the other. So what I'm saying here is that dialogue is also key. Not only the dialogue, but the people that we have sent them at the state assemblies and national assembly to represent us. Let us try as much as possible to hold them accountable and present our grievances.
How do we hold them accountable?
Because the issue, what we are looking at it now, personally, I'm not going to be a prophet of doom, but we're looking at the anger and the frustration that is in people's blood now, and we're thinking that any serious protest will normally breed, because even the issue of jungle justice today is because of already people are frustrated and desperate. That a minor thing the people will resort to jungle justice and somebody will be born. But because already people are already so we're looking at the potential threats, the likely reactions of people. So when you preempt the behavior of people, just like a hungry mice and angry man, these people, they are saying end hunger. That means they are already hungry, and anger will be manifested. We don't know to the extent to which this hunger protest will lead to end the anger. So these are the threats that some people are concerned. Now it's most likely that these hungry people that are going to protest will go to be angry. I don't know how far. The president has been rolling out some palliatives, and the ministers have been giving food and fertilizer. Certain things are happening behind the scene. Where they are targeting August 1st. I think before now, some state governors are coming out and saying, my state will not be part of to it. Assembly members and House of Reps members are speaking to their constituents, and they are also reaching out to them. They are explaining certain things happening around the government to them. If this explanation can actually reduce the tension and put facts and figures straight to constituents, I think Nigerians have listening ears. They will know to do what they do the need for. I think the protest is a child of necessity. It's not because anybody will want to go and stay under the sun or under the rain to be protesting. In fact, we have a lot of things to do. So from the ongoing body language, I can sense that the strike may not have the negative effect as we are imagining, because everybody now has gone back to the trenches to provide a soccer here and that. I think it is because of that that the National Assembly too has gone on recess, so that they can go back and settle with their people and find a way to give them food to chop, so that
But some Nigerians are saying it's not even time to go on recess.
Yes.
That the recess is just an opportunity for them to run away from the heat that may arise from the protest.
What they have done is the best for the best interest, because they need to go back and tell the people what they are doing so far and what the government is doing, and then also reach out to them. And some are reaching out in cash, some are reaching out in kind. So I think you cannot rule out the possibility of that. Because as I speak to you like that, yesterday one assembly member was dishing out fertilizer and money and cash to them. So those kind of people that receive fertilizer and bags of rice.
But how many persons will receive?
This is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So that I say that it's minor. So, but those people like that, for them, the issue of protest has been cancelled, because maybe they have a bag of rice to eat one week. But what I'm saying is that cumulatively.
So if you got a bag of rice, would you have said protest should be shelved off? No, if you had gotten a bag of rice and then
without the bag of rice, to me, I think constructive engagement and dialogue with government will be the way forward. At the end of the protest, whether it is 7 days or 8 days or 20 days,
is government ready for that constructive engagement?
Government has no option than to be ready, because if the government is going to, if they don't want to lose their legitimacy, this is the best way. They must listen to the clamor. They must listen to the agitation. The hunger is too much. People are suffering, people are dying. You cannot even, there are some people, before that time, when they talk about June, for us in Benue State, it was June that they were saying that when you manage to escape June, in fact, you have escaped hunger that year. We are getting too close to August. People are hungry.
And it looks like June.
Yeah, it's like June, on a serious note. And you discover that many families today cannot feed twice in a day. And even what they have is something that is not even anything to even take one. The other day I visited a member of my church in the hospital. What happened? He told me that there was this amala that he knew that it was not good, but he ate it because there was nothing to do. He ended up in the hospital.
Yeah, that's
on
really
a very
bad.
serious note. So what people are eating is not even delicious, not even eatable.
Okay.
But what can you do? So to be very honest with you, the hunger has been grave, it has been deep. The poverty has been. I know the other time they were talking about 100 and something million Nigerians at the poverty.
In extreme poverty.
I think we should be around 2 million Nigerians now, because the number will has increased by now.
Exactly.
So the people should review and tell us how many millions are in abject poverty. It's
Right.
as serious as that. So we have a genuine reason to grumble. We have a genuine reason to feel that this leadership is not treating us well, and they must listen to our cry now. Because if, for instance, God forbid, all Nigerians die, What will the governors and president, would they be leading cows or leading stones? That's a serious one from
Very serious one from you, and Apostle Dr. David Nswenen. He is a man of God and, of course, a public affairs analyst who prefers to say it the way it is. I want to thank you very much indeed for sharing your insights and your views and opinions on today's edition of the program. We just hope that those in offices are watching us and they will make amends to make Nigeria better. We also hope that His Excellency the Executive Governor of Benue State is one who understands the plight of the people and wouldn't allow his people to go hungry. And so we want to thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much for and God bless Nigeria. Let the protest, if it's going on, let it be peaceful.
It's all right.
Not destructive.
Exactly. Thank you so much. This is where we have to say goodbye. Very many thanks to all of you for your viewership. My name is Japhet Kwahom saying, keep watching Benue Television. There are more programs to come your way.